Hello and welcome to Daily Speak English.
You studied a word list last night. 20 new words, an hour of hard work. This morning, gone. Completely vanished from your brain. Sound familiar? Today we're going to fix this forever.
Hi everyone, I'm Lucy.
And I'm Jack.
Today we're tackling one of the most frustrating problems every English learner faces. You learn new words, you feel great about it, but a few days later they've completely disappeared from your memory.
We're going to show you exactly why your brain forgets words so quickly, and more importantly, we'll give you proven techniques to make vocabulary stick in your memory permanently.
By the end of this video, you'll have a completely new approach to learning vocabulary. One that works with your brain's natural memory systems instead of fighting against them.
If you've ever felt frustrated because you keep forgetting words you've already studied, or if your vocabulary isn't growing fast enough, subscribe and give us a thumbs up.
Let's build a vocabulary that actually stays with you.
Lucy, I need to confess something that I think every language learner will relate to deeply.
Oh, confessions are my favorite. Tell me everything.
So, last year, before I really understood how memory works, I spent an entire weekend studying Italian. I was planning a trip to Rome, and I desperately wanted to speak some Italian.
That sounds like a great idea. What happened?
I made these beautiful flashcards, hundreds of them. I wrote the Italian word on one side, the English translation on the other. I spent probably 6 hours going through them over Saturday and Sunday.
6 hours. That's serious dedication.
I know. And by Sunday evening, I felt amazing. I tested myself and I could remember almost everything. I went to sleep thinking, I'm basically fluent in Italian now.
I already sense where this is going.
Monday morning, I woke up, picked up my flashcards, and Lucy, I could barely remember anything. It was like my brain had been completely wiped overnight. All that work, all those hours, essentially gone.
That must have been so disheartening after all that effort.
It was devastating. And the worst part is, I didn't understand why it happened. I thought there was something wrong with my memory. Maybe I was just bad at languages.
But that wasn't the problem at all, was it?
No, the problem was that I was studying in completely the wrong way. I was fighting against how my brain naturally works instead of working with it.
This is such an important distinction, and I think so many of our viewers are in exactly the same position right now.
How many times have you studied the same word over and over and it still won't stick?
Or learned a word in a lesson, understood it perfectly, and then 3 days later you see it again and have absolutely no idea what it means?
This isn't a personal failing. This is just how human memory works. And once you understand the system, you can completely change your results.
So let's start with the science. Why does our brain forget words so quickly?
There's something called the forgetting curve, discovered by a psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus over 100 years ago, and his findings were pretty shocking.
What did he discover?
He discovered that without any review or reinforcement, we forget about 50% of new information within just 1 hour of learning it.
50% in 1 hour? That's alarming.
It gets worse. After 24 hours, we forget about 70% of what we learned. And after a week, we've forgotten nearly 90%.
So all that studying Jack did over the weekend was basically disappearing from his brain as he slept.
Exactly. But here's the key insight. The forgetting curve also shows us how to fight back. Every time you review something at the right moment, the forgetting slows down dramatically.
So it's not about studying more, it's about studying smarter.
Precisely. And this brings us to the first and most powerful technique for remembering vocabulary: spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition sounds complicated, but it's actually a beautiful, simple idea. Instead of studying the same words over and over in one long session, you spread your reviews out over time.
Let me explain with an example. You learn the word ambitious today. Instead of reviewing it 20 times today and then never again, you review it once today, then again tomorrow, then in 3 days, then in a week, then in 2 weeks.
Each time you successfully remember the word, you wait a little longer before reviewing it again.
Because each successful review tells your brain, this information is important, keep it.
And your brain responds by moving it from short-term memory into long-term memory.
There are apps like Anki that do this automatically. They track which words you know well and which ones you struggle with, and they show you each word at exactly the right moment.
But you don't need an app to use spaced repetition. You can do it simply with a notebook.
How?
Write new words in your notebook with the date you learned them. Then have review sections for tomorrow, next week, and next month. Move words through these sections as you learn them.
Simple but very effective. Now, technique number 2 is something I wish someone had told me years ago. Stop translating words.
This sounds counterintuitive. If I learn a new word, of course I want to know what it means in my language.
I understand. But here's the problem. When you learn ambitious as just a translation of your native language equivalent, the word has no life in your brain. It's just two words connected by an equals sign.
So, what should you do instead?
Learn words in context. Learn them in sentences, in stories, in situations where you actually see them being used.
For example, instead of just writing ambitious equals wanting to be successful, you write, she was so ambitious that she worked 12 hours every day to build her business.
Now the word has a story, it has emotion, it has context.
And your brain loves stories and emotion. They create much stronger memory connections.
This is why reading English books, watching English shows, and listening to English podcasts is so powerful for vocabulary. You're not just learning words, you're experiencing them in real situations.
Every time you encounter a word in a new context, that memory gets stronger.
Technique number 3 is what I call the personal connection method. And this one is genuinely life-changing.
Tell me about this one. I use something similar with my students.
The idea is simple but powerful. When you learn a new word, immediately connect it to something personal in your own life.
How does that look in practice?
Let's say you learn the word persistent. It means continuing to do something even when it's difficult. Instead of just memorizing that definition, you immediately think, I am persistent when I practice English every day, even when I feel tired.
Or, my grandmother was the most persistent person I knew. She never gave up on anything.
Yes, because now persistent isn't just a word in a textbook. It's connected to your grandmother, to your feelings, to your real life.
Your brain will never forget something connected to people and emotions you care about.
This is why we remember things we care about naturally without even trying. You don't study the names of your friends and family. You remember them because they matter to you.
So, the trick is to make vocabulary matter to you personally.
Exactly. Every time you learn a new word, ask yourself, where does this word appear in my life? Who do I know that this word describes? When have I felt this way?
Technique number 4 is using multiple senses. And this one surprises a lot of people.
What do you mean by multiple senses?
Most people learn vocabulary with just their eyes. They see the word written down and they read it silently. But your brain stores memories much more powerfully when multiple senses are involved.
So what can people do?
Say the word out loud. Not just once, but several times. Say it in a sentence. Write it down with your hand, not just type it.
Why does writing by hand make a difference?
When you write by hand, your brain is doing something much more complex than when you type. You're making physical movements, seeing the word form letter by letter, and feeling the pen on paper. All of these create additional memory pathways.
So the word is stored in more places in your brain.
Exactly. And that means more ways to retrieve it when you need it.
I love this. What about drawing pictures?
Brilliant idea. If you're a visual learner, draw a simple picture next to the word. It doesn't have to be artistic, just a quick sketch that represents the meaning.
For example, if you're learning enormous, meaning very big, you might draw a tiny stick figure next to a massive building.
Your brain will remember that image and the word will come with it.
Technique number 5 is one of my absolute favorites. Learning word families.
Oh, this is so efficient. Explain it.
Instead of learning one word at a time, learn the whole family of related words together. This way, learning one word actually teaches you 4 or 5.
Can you show us what this looks like?
Of course. Let's take the word decide. The noun form is decision. The adjective is decisive. The adverb is decisively. And there's also indecisive, which means the opposite. Someone who can't make decisions easily.
So, from one root word, you get a whole family.
And once you understand how these families work, you start to see patterns. You realize that many nouns end in shun, like decision, information, education, communication.
And adjectives often end in ive, like decisive, creative, sensitive, productive.
Once you see these patterns, your vocabulary grows much faster because each new word gives you clues about related words.
It's like learning the grammar of vocabulary.
Technique number 6 is reviewing words actively, not passively.
What's the difference?
Passive review is reading through your word list and thinking, yes, I know that one. Active review is covering up the definition and trying to produce the meaning yourself or trying to use the word in a sentence.
So, passive review feels easier, but active review is much more powerful.
Yes, this is called the testing effect in psychology. The act of trying to retrieve information actually strengthens the memory much more than simply rereading it.
This is why doing exercises and writing sentences with new words is so valuable.
Even better, try to use new words in real conversations. When you use a word to communicate a real thought, that experience creates an incredibly strong memory.
I have a challenge for my students when they learn a new word. I tell them, you have 24 hours to use this word in a real conversation or message with someone.
That's brilliant, because now there's urgency and a real purpose.
And they always remember the word afterward because using it was a real experience.
Technique number 7 is something simple, but incredibly effective. Label your world.
What do you mean?
Get some sticky notes and label objects in your home with their English names. Your refrigerator has a note saying refrigerator. Your window says window. Your bookshelf says bookshelf.
Every time you walk past these objects, you see the English word multiple times every day without even trying to study.
This works because of something called incidental learning. You're absorbing the words as part of your normal daily environment.
And you can change the notes every 2 weeks to keep learning new words.
You can also label actions. Put a note on your coffee machine that says brew. Put a note on your door that says open and close. Connect the English words to daily actions.
Now, let's talk about a common mistake that kills vocabulary learning. Trying to learn too many words at once.
Oh, this is so important. Many learners think, more is better. I'll study 50 words today.
But your brain doesn't work that way. When you overload it with new information, it struggles to consolidate anything into long-term memory.
Research suggests that learning 5 to 10 words deeply is much more effective than learning 50 words superficially.
What does deeply mean here?
It means understanding the word's meaning, knowing how to use it in a sentence, understanding its connotation and feeling, knowing related words, and having a personal connection to it.
That's a lot of investment for each word. But the payoff is that you actually keep it.
Think of it like planting trees. You could scatter 100 seeds across dry ground and hope some survive. Or you could carefully plant 10 seeds in good soil, water them, and give them the conditions to grow strong.
10 strong trees is infinitely more useful than 100 dead seeds.
Exactly. Quality always beats quantity when it comes to vocabulary learning.
Now, let's talk about something really exciting: how to dramatically speed up vocabulary acquisition.
Yes, because all these techniques are great, but there's also a way to massively increase the amount of vocabulary you're exposed to.
Extensive reading, or as some people call it, reading for pleasure in English.
When you read something in English that genuinely interests you, whether it's a novel, a blog, a magazine, or even social media in English, you encounter vocabulary in rich, meaningful contexts.
And the beautiful thing about extensive reading is that you encounter the same common words over and over again in different contexts.
Each encounter with a word in a new context adds another layer to your understanding and memory of that word.
Start with material that's slightly below your level so you can enjoy the reading without stopping constantly to look things up.
As you progress, gradually move to more challenging material.
The goal is to enjoy the content and let vocabulary absorption happen naturally.
And over time, this becomes the most powerful vocabulary building tool available to you.
Now it's time for our question of the day.
We have two questions.
First, which vocabulary learning mistake have you been making? Studying too many words at once? Not reviewing at the right time? Just memorizing translations? Be honest in the comments.
Second, which technique will you try first? Spaced repetition? Personal connections? Labeling your home? Tell us your plan.
And here's your challenge for the next 7 days.
Choose just 5 English words each day, but learn them deeply. Use every technique we talked about: context, personal connection, word family, multiple senses.
After 7 days, test yourself. Write a short paragraph using all 35 words.
I promise you'll be amazed by how well you remember them compared to your old method.
Remember, the goal isn't to learn hundreds of words. The goal is to own the words you learn.
There's a big difference between knowing a word and owning a word. Owning means it comes to you instantly and naturally whenever you need it.
And that ownership comes from learning deeply, reviewing smartly, and making genuine personal connections.
If you found this helpful, thumbs up and subscribe to Daily Speak English.
We create videos every week to help you build real, lasting English skills.
Share this with someone who's frustrated by forgetting vocabulary.
Thank you so much for watching.
Your memory is more powerful than you think. You just need to use it the right way.
We'll see you in the next video.
Until then, learn deeply, review smartly, and build the vocabulary you deserve.
See you soon.
Goodbye, everyone.